Hey guys, I'm finally coming back at you for the final part for the Supernatural Season 5. I'm sorry if I had to split it up in 3 parts, it's just I wasn't able to fit all of it into the last part, so let's just finish this thing. Episode 19 was Hammer of the Gods. This was where they go to this hotel that's haunted by these gods or whatever, pagan gods that used to rule over the world back in the millennia or whatever. And yeah, they sacrifice people and eat them, and then they're trying to figure out how to get rid of Lucifer mostly. So they want to go to war against him. And then Lucifer actually shows up. Sam and Dean actually are with them at the time. And then, yeah, Gabriel shows up as well, but disguised as Loki. And yeah, there's more to that story if you watch the new season, mostly about Loki and all that. And yeah, this episode will get a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's good. And at the end of it, it showed Gabriel getting killed by Lucifer or whatever. He's like, "Oh, your little magic tricks are not gonna work on me. You learn from the best." And yeah, pretty much Lucifer killed all those pagan gods except for the Kali or whatever her name was. So yeah, this episode was decent. Episode 20, I believe this one was The Devil You Know. This was where they have to find a pestilence. Because at the end of the very last part for the... after Gabriel died or whatever, he told Sam and Dean in a computer, the laptop, where he's like, guard this with your life. He told them there are 4 rings that you need to get from the horsemen. They already got war and famine. They just got to get pestilence and death. Those last 2 rings. And yeah, they're trying to track down pestilence. And in episode 20, they actually... Crowley comes to help them find pestilence, but Sam kind of goes crazy and is ready to kill him. He's like, "You son of a bitch." And they do find the guy who talks to pestilence, and that's someone that Sam knows, and his name is Brady, that he knew from college. And he's like, "You're the one who introduced me to Jessica and all that." So yeah, Brady's kind of a demon. And he actually kills Brady in the end, and they find out where Pestilence is and where he's gonna be. So Sam kills Brady in the end. And Crowley kind of is just that... oh, I'm sorry. Is that demon that could just screw you over in an instant. But yeah, this episode will get a 4.5 out of 5. Episode 21, I believe it's 2 minutes to midnight. This is where the beginning of the episode shows where they find Pestilence in this retirement home. And Sam and Dean try to go kill him and all that, and so does Castillo. And they do eventually get cut his finger off just to get the ring from his finger. And they do. And then they're like, "Oh, it's too late." Or whatever he says. And then, they all... oh, damn it. They all come together back at Bobby's place. Dean, Sam, Castiel, Bobby, and eventually Crowley comes in as well. And they're like, "Oh, we need to get Death's ring and all that." And at the end of episode 20, it did. I think it did show where Crowley went to Bobby or whatever, and he actually sold his soul to Crowley, just so he could get the ring from find Death's location or whatever. And they do eventually find Death's location, and Death actually does give the ring to Dean or whatever. So, yeah. Pretty much that's what happens. They actually do try to stop this corporation that's selling the Crotone virus. Sam, Dean, and Castiel. Sam, Bobby, and Castiel. Dean goes off on his own with Crowley just to find Death, and then he sits down with Death, like I said. And Death gives him the ring and is like, I'm gonna want it back after it's over and all that, is what he's saying. And he's saying, you're gonna owe me a favor or whatever eventually. And he does. And this episode's getting a 5 out of 5. Now for the final one. Swan Song. This is the final episode for this season, where it all comes to the end, to see what's gonna happen and how this will play out. It shows Chuck introducing the Winchesters and how their story began, yada yada yada, and they're like, oh, the devil doesn't care, and all that. And Sam's just feeling, he's kind of saying, I'm gonna have to say yes to Lucifer. And Dean's just like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't have a choice. And the only way they can do that is if Sam puts him back in the hole. But Sam gets possessed by Lucifer. And yeah. This episode was pretty tragic as well. It's a sad ending, but it's a good way to end it. Sam does go to Detroit, and the only way he can get into say yes to Lucifer is if he drinks gallons of demon blood, which he has to in order for the vessel to be contained. And yeah, they go to Detroit, and then they run into Lucifer, and then Sam's like, I want to say yes. And then he does, and then he gets possessed by Lucifer, and he has the 4 rings all together, and then he kind of fools Dean's like, I'm just messing with you. And he's like, I told you this would happen. And Dean's just freaking out and all that. And pretty much they think it's all over, and it's not gonna end, that Lucifer won and all that, but no. They actually change the story, and they call Chuck and ask him where it's gonna be, and he does tell them. It ends in a graveyard in Kansas, or a cemetery in Kansas, with Michael as Adam and Sam as Lucifer, about ready to battle, until Dean interferes and tries to stop him. And yeah, pretty much comes in, and then Castiel comes in and says, hey, ass butt, and throws this bottled torch thing or whatever at Michael and sends him away for a little bit. And then Sam as Lucifer gets pissed and is like, no one dicks with Michael but me, and snaps his fingers, and Castiel explodes. Same with Bobby, but snaps his neck. I wouldn't say he explodes. And then he beats up on Dean and just telling Sam it's okay and all that, and Sam grabs hold of himself and keeps Lucifer contained inside himself, and then just traps him there and throws out the 4 rings onto the ground and does the spell, says the words just to open it, and then him and Adam just jump in there. Adam runs up to him, and then they both fall in the hole, and they go back in the cage. And that's how it ends. And Dean goes and runs off to Lisa and Ben, because he wanted to go live a normal apple pie life, and he wanted to stop hunting because of what happened, and he was really upset that he lost his brother. And then, yeah, it was a sad ending, but it was the only way. And for some reason, Sam comes back at the very end and sees Dean, Lisa, and Ben sitting down eating while he's watching them from the window. And then it cuts off after that, after it shows Sam. And that is going to be it for this season. That episode is getting a 5 out of 5. It was a fantastic ending. It was sad and very emotional and probably made you want to cry, but it waited for the devil to go down. And yeah, I think this season deserves a 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic season. It's filled with a lot of emotion, and there's a lot of touchy moments in it, and points where it's just, this is just one of the darker, emotional, tragic seasons because it's the apocalypse season. But overall, this deserves a 10 out of 10. It delivered well. And I know most people think this show should end, and I know it should end, because I'll go into more detail with the other reviews I plan on doing, starting, I think, tomorrow for Season 6 review. It should be tomorrow, at the latest tomorrow night. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on this Supernatural Season 5 review. And tomorrow I will be back for the Bad Wolves Disobey album review. It should be tomorrow morning, or at least tomorrow afternoon, whenever I come around to it. So, take care, good night, and I'll see you in the next video.